What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is That's Random Podcast, where we take a little time to explore the extraordinary and ordinary. And I am your guy, that guy, the one and only Nerdy G. And welcome to the channel, welcome to the page, welcome to the show. This, like I said, once again, this is That's Random Podcast. I'm your guy, and I'm going to guide you through this wonderful audio adventure. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you get to see my wonderful, handsome face. Yeah. Listen, the best way to support this brand, this Nerdy's umbrella, to keep the shows coming, the multiple shows that we have, and to keep them coming and keep them going, in two ways. You can support us by joining the Patreon. That's one. The other one is you can go grab some of our merch. Right, it's on the screen right now. It looks really nice. Okay, we got some hoodies out. We got some hoodies because, hoodie season is here, and we want to make sure that, everybody stay warm, cozy, comfy, and rip how they really feeling. With all that being said, like, subscribe, share, do all that good old stuff, and then let's go ahead and move right into today's topic, right? We already know everything here is random. Thoughts random, right? And I'm getting back to that notion of everything being random, not so much heavy on relationships and parenting and all that. I know those are things that were going on in my life, okay? Just thought I would share, okay? But there are some fun things that we do here on this podcast. Like I said, we explore the extraordinary and ordinary. And one of the things that I've caught myself doing here for the past couple years or so, I've been telling folks, if you do it to yourself, I can't avenge you. Okay? Especially my son. My son is a clumsy guy, right? He's not, I don't know how he does certain things, but he does things, and he gets clumsy. Okay? And it looked like if he were to land it, it would be catastrophic, and he would probably off himself in the worst way possible. But that leaves me in a position to where I can't avenge him, because if he tripped over his own feet and accidentally unalived himself, then I'm stuck in a position to where I cannot avenge him. And people, be careful. That's the first thing I want to say. Everybody out there, be careful. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of yourself. Be aware of your feet. Be aware of your limbs. I know some people out there are walking around with two left feet, okay? And it's okay. I'm not judging you. I just think that you should take a little extra, a little, not a lot. You just need to take a little extra care of yourself. So me saying all of that is going to take us into our topic today, which is, don't do it to yourself. And I'm going to try to make this light and airy as possible, because I know some of you guys are thinking like, what? Yeah, I know. Suicide. I'm going to say the word suicide, okay? Suicide is a tough topic to talk about. But with mental health being such a big focus in America today, in today's world, I think that it is important that we highlight it. I think it's important that we talk about it. I think that we shine some light, because some of us go through things and we'll go through them, get through them, and we don't share our struggles with others. And when we don't share our struggles with others, others ended up losing out. And I'm here just to say, speak up, share. I'm going to share myself today, because if I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to be about it. And your guy Nerdy, is all about it. If I say it, I'm all about it, okay? There are times when you may not feel like yourself, and you try to shake it off, okay? This is not a Taylor Swift song. You can't shake off mental health. You got to put some work in. You got to take a little time. You have to get help. You have to meet with others who are going through things, because for whatever reason, when you're sharing your stories, it sparks something. It sparks an awareness inside of you that you didn't know that was there. See, most people who haven't dealt with not only mental illness or any type of certain type of situations, oh, well, it can't really be that bad, or it's not this, that, it's not that. or they kind of dismissive it. They give it like a dismissive. You know what I'm saying? If you never went through cancer, you kind of like, cancer, breast cancer. Oh yeah. They got all kinds of research, and they're the best of getting that thing cured now. So it really doesn't matter, right? So if they got breast cancer, they can get that thing cured up if they catch it early on enough, right? And it's kind of like you downplay what that person is going through because you still get the diagnosis. You still have to go through the mental awareness like, hey, I have cancer. I have something that can kill me. I have something there where I may have felt like I was doing everything right in the world, and yet I still ended up with this disease. Mental health is similar to that. It sneaks up on you, and you are in most cases, most of us are unaware of that. And we don't want it to, and we don't want to be unaware of things, but we have to, how I say this, we don't want to be unaware, but sometimes we are so caught up in what we're doing in the world that we don't take time for ourselves. You see this everywhere you go. It's saying take time for yourself, love yourself, treat yourself, be with yourself. That is true. You should love yourself and you should be with yourself. I am a firm believer of going places by yourself. I go to the movies by myself. I go and eat by myself. And sometimes that's a way for me to just decompose, detox, let loose, let go all of the thoughts and all of the things that may make me stressed out, may make my anxiety kick up. I have to do those things. Yes, is it good to be around people? It is. It is to have fun, to enjoy yourself. Yes, that is a part of it. But also, too, a part of it is a little alone time, doing things that still make you happy, but still take your mind off of the things that you really, truly can't control. You don't have to put yourself into a deep depression because you're worried about this person, that person, that person, that person, this person, that person, Mary Sue, Billy Joe Bob, Jethro, all of them folks. Because you, even though you may be a natural provider, which some of us are, we are natural providers. We have an instinct within inside of us to want to care for others, and we put so much of that on our shoulders and saying, listen, nobody else is doing it, so I'm going to do it. You don't have to be the hero. You don't understand what that will do to you. Nerdy, you saying all of this? I'm saying all this because it's true. You take it from me. I worked my tail off. I'm a hard worker. I'm good at what I do. And I work my tail off. But when the doctor told me, Nerdy, you're depressed, I didn't know how to receive that. I didn't know how to swallow that. I didn't know how to say, okay, I'm depressed. Now what's next? I didn't. Not at that time. I wasn't educated enough. I wasn't aware enough. And for me, the question was, so what does that mean? What does that mean for me? It's like, this is how we can tell that you're depressed, or this is how we value that you are depressed. You go to work, you smile, you laugh, you do what you have to do. Outside of that, what do you do? Go home, go to sleep. It's like you sleep, and then how many hours of sleep you get? About 4, and then you're up. And then once you get up, what do? I'm thinking about the day. I'm thinking about the people I have to take care of. I think about the people that I'm responsible for. I think about what the job needs. I said, okay, so when do you stop and say, Nerdy wants to do this or Nerdy wants to do that? And for me, it's like, oh, I'll just let everybody else figure that out. And the doctor says, Nerdy, you want everybody else to figure out the rest of your life for you. You have one part that you play in their lives, but you want them to plan out the rest of your life, the way that you where you're going to eat, where you're going to go party at. You're not going to have a say so in any of those things. No. I mean, okay. I mean, I take care of this, right? But you're only taking care of that, and you're saying that even though you're only sleeping 4 hours, because you're getting up and you're thinking about other people and what you got to do, who you're responsible for. Then on top of that, anything that goes on in your personal life, you don't address whatsoever. You keep on mashing your feelings down. You keep on mashing your feelings down. Um, and if I'm not mistaken, at one point in time, you used to go get your haircut every week, get your car washed every week. Is that correct? Yeah. That's correct. That's correct. When was the last time you did that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago. Okay. And are you okay with your appearance? Well, I mean, what's wrong with my appearance? Beard gang is in the world, in the works. Yeah, but what about your afro? What about my afro? Your afro's all over your head. And from my understanding, in one of our previous sessions, you told me that you don't even like sideburns. That is correct. I don't like sideburns. So you have sideburns. You have this wild hair. Your beard looks like you've been hibernating for the past 3 months, and then this coat. I understand that you don't like coats, but yet you have this coat on every time you come to see me. Yeah, I do. Nerdy. You're depressed. You have unresolved things in your life that you have yet to sit down and address. I can't help you if you don't tell me what these things are, or at least acknowledge that these things may have some type of effect on you. And they tell you, that's young nerdy, by the way. That's not nerdy right now, but that was younger nerdy. In my mid-20s nerdy. They didn't tell you therapy is a conversation. Therapy is eye-opening because you're the one that's opening your eyes to yourself. You are the one that is answering the questions for yourself. That's it. You in therapy, you are answering the questions for yourself. The therapist is going to ask you something, and you have to respond honestly in order for it to work. If you're not being honest with yourself, then therapy does not work. So in this instance, I had to be honest with myself. In all the things that I would deal with, in the way that I would deal with them, yeah, I let my appearance go. I did. I tried to justify me letting my appearance go. I tried to justify me wearing a coat. If you know Nerdy, if you personally know Nerdy, Nerdy can give two rats ass about a coat. I don't care for coats. I don't like, let me rephrase it. I'm not going to say I don't like coats, because some of y'all designers out there, y'all be designing some fly coats, okay? And I like them. Here's the kicker. I will wear your coat for about 5 to 10 minutes max, and then I'm taking it off. And the only reason why is because I get hot. Muy caliente, hot. Make it hot. I get hot. So I like coats. I just don't wear them. That particular coat was a Girbaud coat. It was orange, white, and gray. And I literally had that same coat on for about 6 months straight. Every day it was a part of my attire. I didn't have a wallet, in the way that I would check to make sure that I had my phone, my keys, and whatever else I was carrying. I would put it inside the coat. I would do a nice little weight check. I'll shake the twice, and boom, I knew that it was there, and I kept it pushing. My beard was scruffy. I think I do have a picture. I'll put it up and I'll share it for YouTube. So if you're listening to this on the DSP, sorry, but yeah, my hair was wild and all over the place. I used to keep a ball taper. Okay, listen to that. I go to the barbershop and say, "What do you need? Ball taper, please. No sideburns. Nice on the goatee. Keep the mustache fresh, fly, and funky." And I was good. Hour and a half later, sharpest, okay? Sharpest. Walking down around. But that's, when that changed, I didn't see it. When I stopped going to get my car washed, when I stopped going to get my car shampooed and detailed, when I stopped going to get my hair cut, when I stopped dealing with everyday life and literally letting others dictate what I do or put them in the position to where they made decisions for me, it wasn't the greatest. It was not the greatest. Then there was days, and then it's like, okay, got your depression. And then there was those days that it took me a while to tell the therapist about, where I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't. I laid there in the bed. Even though it was 4 or 5 hours of sleep, I would wake up, eyes open, and I would lay there at times for 3 to 4 hours and just not get out the bed. My brain is racing, going 20, 30 miles an hour, but I didn't want to get out the bed. That was something that had a hold of me, and I couldn't shake it. Me telling myself, get up, get up, get up, get up, and I couldn't. That depression, once it gets heavy on you, you feel it. And there's no way for you to know that that's what it is unless you go talk to somebody. Unless somebody who has been around you has been in something like that, they can then identify some of the key things, and they can just say, hey, help. They'll try to help you the best way that they can. And there is a way to help without seeming overbearing. And we all have to remember that first stage of anything is denial. When you get any type of diagnosis that is not favorable in your opinion, that is not positive in your opinion, you go through denial, and you're not happy about it. And you're going to run from it until you are able to accept it. If you are good at accepting things, then boom, you might not have an issue with this. But if you aren't, then you're going to have an issue. Denial is the ugly stage because you will snap on people. You will tell people, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Listen, I understand the words I'm fine more than anybody. I can tell I'm fine from I'm fine from I'm fine. No, I promise you I'm fine. I know. I used to say it a lot. There's layers to saying I'm fine. Don't do it to yourself, people. Get the help. Don't let it go as so far to where you truly start thinking about. Be careful with the medications that you guys take. Before you start taking any type of medications, my suggestion to you is going to be, have someone around you who knows you for who you really are, and then you take that medication around them and make sure that they are around as much as possible, because they'll be the one to catch your mood swings. They'll be the one to be able to catch when you start snapping on others. They'll be the one to tell you that something doesn't seem right. Because remember, medicine is just a practice. Medicine is a practice. So some of the medication that works on me may not work on you or the next person. Everybody's chemical makeup in their body is different. So, of course, I'm going to tell you to be careful, be mindful, and understand that, hey, you can't do this by yourself when it comes to mental illness. The last thing that you want to do is you want to end up in one of the sessions. And I'm going to tell you, as a man who has been to one of these sessions on multiple occasions, and to hear how others have minimized their life and said that in so much words, to say that they are trash and they deserve not to be here. And that was just so much far from the truth. Those are tough classes to be in. Those are tough stories to hear. Thinking back on those stories that I've heard and those that have shared, no, I have never tried to unalive myself, and nor will I ever try to unalive myself. And I'm saying that as a conscious, level-headed, not on any type of medication man. I'm telling you, I will never try to unalive myself. The experiences that I had when I was depressed and I had to go to these meetings to get myself to a place to where I can not get back to who I used to be, but put myself on a path to where I can be a better person and give and share to the world, because that's all I want to do at this point. If I can help in any possible way, that's what I'm going to do. That's what Nerdy is going to do. If you really look at it, that's what Nerdy's umbrella is all about. We'll dive in that deeper in another episode. But the reality is, some of those stories helped me, but also too, it made me also think about my loved ones a bit more, because Some of these folks, loved ones, found them in their attempts. Some of their loved ones were there with them day in and day out, and the depression or the will not to live was so strong and so great. One of the things that I in this particular meeting that I went to, one of the things that I disliked was the fact that when people stop showing up, you got worried. When you know that they have 6, 8, 9 more classes to go, when you talk to them and you try to become their accountability partner, it's tough. And then we come in and we get that message, hey, they didn't win their battle with their depression. They didn't win their battle with their mental illness. It got the better of them. Your brain, in a way, turns on you. It turns on you. It tells you everything in a sense of matter. And I don't want to say that it turns on you 110%, because there is something inside of you that says, no, I want to live. I want to be here. I need the help. Because if you showed up to the meetings, if you reached out to somebody, there's something inside of you saying, no. Remember, your brain is going to protect you at all costs. But when it comes to the mental illness, for whatever reason, that switch is flipped, and that brain starts to tell you, oh no, we're going to get out of here. And we're going to get out of here fast in a hurry. But there's still a part of you that is fighting. There's something, whether you want to call it your soul, whether you want to call it other powers that may be, there's something in you that's still fighting to keep you here. And your brain is not winning that battle right away. And that's why when some people try to unalive themselves, there are several attempts before they actually get through it. Not saying everyone, because depending on the way that they go, but there's something that tells you, no, we're still here. Even when your loved ones find you, it's tough. It is challenging. When they find you and they save you in that moment, there was something in the world, there was something in the air to let that loved one to you. But hopefully that sparked something in you to say, no, I need to be here. I'm worth it. The meetings are helpful. In some instances, they're not helpful, because it depends on where you are in your journey to get back to a position to where you can determine how you're going to live your life. I know for a fact that if you come in there and you've been on edge, and then somebody comes in there and you let them know and you make them aware, they do it to themselves. And once they do it to themselves, there's nothing that you can do about it. Then your brain is going to be like, yeah, they did it to themselves. They were successful. We can be successful. And you have to fight that. Here's what Nerd is telling you. You don't have to fight that alone. You don't have to fight that alone. Never try to fight that alone. Don't do it to yourself, because your loved ones can't avenge you if you do it to yourself. I'm saying this just because I've been there. I've been in that, and you do have to lean on your loved ones. You do have to get yourself back to a position to where you can choose which path you're going to go on. And just because you were depressed, just because you felt away, just because you experienced mental illness does not make you less of a person. Let me say that. It does not make you weak. It does not make you less of a person. If anything, it makes you human, because we all go through things, and that's what life is about. It's about a roller coaster ride. Everything is not going to be smooth sailing. We're going to go through some things in life, and how we handle those situations, how we reach out and get help from others, how we decide we are going to beat whatever situation, or we're going to conquer whatever situation that comes to us. We're going to be the ones to do just that. We're going to be the ones to get through it. That's what humans are. That's what humans do. We persevere in the darkest times and we come out on top. And once you've gone through something like that with mental illness and you're able to come out on top and you're able to choose that path, understand sometimes you're still going to need some medication. You're still going to need your support group. It's not going to be easy, because if it was easy, everybody would do it and nobody would care two rats about it. But what I'm telling you is that here, we do it. We do it. You're not going to take the vengeance from one of your loved ones. So you're just not going to do it to yourself. And I know the pain. I know the pain. I've seen the pain. I've seen it up close and personal with a close friend who literally, they're just talking and you can see the pain and you can hear the pain. And the thing is, if you don't experience that, if you don't see that, you don't understand. But to be there in that moment, all you want that person to do is live. And sometimes when you want that person to live, that person don't see a reason to live, even though you're begging and pleading with them not to leave. It's not a selfish thing. It's telling that person that they are more. It's telling that person that they deserve to be here, that the pain is not forever. But to cut through all of that noise, whatever the brain is telling you, whatever, like I said, we don't know what the chemical makeup is, but when that brain gets to doing the topsy-turvy, everything that's supposed to be down is up and everything that's up is down. No. That's a tough, challenging situation to deal with and get through. And when folks say that only the strongest survive, they're not talking physically. They're talking mentally. They're talking being able to withstand something psychological that you don't even understand, that you don't even know exactly what it is that you're fighting. See, physical guys can say, hey, I know what I'm fighting. Wrestlers, they know what they're fighting. Football players, they know what they're fighting. The strongmen, they know who they're in competition with. Track runners, sports, all of that type of stuff, they know exactly who their opponents are. When it comes to mental illness, you don't know who you're fighting against. And in some instances, you are fighting literally against yourself. And half of you or a part of you is saying, we deserve to be here. And that other part is laughing and saying, let's go out. Let's take this out and let's go out with a bang. And that is not the case. That is not what we want to happen. I know I normally don't take this long, but I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I'll play a little music. I'll come back. I'll close out the show, and we'll go from there. YouTube, you're not getting this music, but go ahead and slide over there to Apple Music, Apple Podcast or Spotify, Captivate for sure, and listen and hear what we bring to the table today. I'll be right back after. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It was one day you're here. Listen, you can be here for many days. You can. This is your guy Nerdy, man, and this is where that extraordinary, right? That part of exploring the that part of taking the extraordinary and exploring the ordinary, right? This is that part. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to walk through life alone, and I promise you, you don't. You don't have to. You have to speak. I know that sometimes in our childhood we are told to be quiet and be spoken when only spoken to. No, speak up. Use your voice. There are other people out there who have gone through the same things that you are going through right now today. It might not be to the exact T, but it does mirror up with what you're going through. Don't let nobody tell you that you're not worth it. Each and every one of us, we're worth it. We're worth it. We made it here. If you know what it takes to get to the fallopian tube out of millions and millions and millions, listen, I promise you, you deserve to be here. You're meant to be here, and don't do it to yourself. Don't don't take away your opportunity. Don't close the door. Okay. And I know that some of us say, "Oh, we want to go out on our own accord." Listen, you can go out on your own accord. Just don't do it to yourself. And that crosses a ton of things. Not just talking about mental illness. Just not talking about alcoholism. Not talking about addiction to narcotics or addiction to opioids. Don't do it to yourself. Don't self-medicate. Be careful when you are self-medicating. We've seen it time and time again where self-medication has led to us not being here. Let us not be mourning over you because you decided that it was your time to go, or you were self-medicating and you got something that somebody, they cut it with some Desinex foot powder or something like that, and now you're not here. Get help. Talk to your people. Don't be scared. Share. Those people who they're sharing these things with, listen. Don't dismiss it. Do not dismiss what someone's telling you. Their words are valuable. Their life is valuable just as much as you believe that yours is. If you don't know how to help them, sometimes just being a good ear is a start. It's okay for you to say, I don't know how to help you here, but let's figure this out together. And once we figure things out together, we go get some professionals, because every job has an EAP. Every job allows you to call and get some sessions and talk to a professional who deals with this day in and day out. And let's take those first steps. That's it, y'all. This has been That's Random Podcast. This is the podcast where we take a little time to explore the extraordinary and ordinary. I'm always going to be your guy, that guy, the one and only Nerdy G. And until next time, I'm out.